And then the next stage of that development was because now you get all these, once you've done the thing, now you're like, oh, now you got to do the stand-up thing and you got to do open mic nights and you got to like, you become part of that culture. And again, I was like, I don't really want, like, I don't want to do yuck yucks. And so I hung out in the Second City world. And then I wrote this play called The Canadian Baby Bonus. And I was working with a guy, a director, and who had said, if you want to take stand-up and put it into play form, you have to expose the emotional underbelly of what inspired the comedy. Because comedy is, in those days, this is like obviously Mike Birbiglia and, all this new wave of, kind of.
Yeah, comedy is very sad now. A lot of sad comedy.
Yeah. And so it was like, you need to expose the emotional underbelly of the comedy. And I was like, oh my God, how do I do that? So I sat down and wrote this play. And that was the next stage where it was like, oh, right, I don't want to be a stand-up. I don't need to do, or it's not that I don't need to do the traditional stand-up thing. I don't get a ton of fulfillment out of that. I did, but so I wrote this play and I was performing it at the Edmonton Fringe Festival. And then the initial comedy was really about growing up poor, right? Hand-me-down clothes and blah, blah, all this kind of stuff. And then it was like, what was the emotional underbelly of all that? What it was a massive acknowledgement of the incredible job my mom did. And that's what I discovered. Was like, oh, that's why I see the humor in it, but it's positive humor. It's not negative, bitter humor. It's because I know that my mom did like such an incredible job with 4 kids being physically disabled on social assistance. Like, it was crazy. And so when I exposed that emotional underbelly, that was something else. I was like, oh, like, you don't need to end on a punchline. It's actually way more fulfilling, the stuff that follows the punchline. Mm-hmm. In that moment of silence where you can take them anywhere. And I had this experience on stage in Edmonton where one of the poignant moments is I'd say, so, hey, be careful. And it's a callback to something earlier in the play. And the room is dead silent at that point. And I was in Edmonton, sold out house, tight, intimate theater. And I said, so, hey, and I hear this woman in the front row go, and that blew me away more than probably any emotional reaction I've ever had in my life. Where that one little showed that I had taken her on this journey and I had her in the palm of my hand. And she was waiting, kind of like, what's next, what's next, what's next? And in that moment, she figured out what was next before I said what was next. She knew the next line was going to be.
You walked her down the road and then she knew it was around the corner.
She knew it was around the corner. And it was this weird emotional. And I could have, at that moment, then gone to a joke and made her laugh. I could have gone deeper and made her cry. I could have made her think like, and so that to me is when I truly understood the power and the role of comedy. And I thought that so many people were doing a disservice to the craft, that they were stopping at the punchline. And that it was way more fulfilling in the thing that followed the punchline. And what is that thing? Is it an emotional thing? Is it a direction thing? And that is speaking. That goes into, I'm going to make you laugh, but it's with reason. I'm here to actually get you to do something or tell you something. And I'm going to set you up with the laughter, but we're not here for the laughter. We're here for the thing that follows the laughter. It's way more fulfilling to me.
The comedy is like the sugar, and then there's medicine underneath it. And you just...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Now, that's just for me. I'm not saying that all comedy needs to be like that. I sometimes love pee pee poo poo caca, like
we all do.
It's a traditional Adam Sandler kind of, like what? There's nothing funnier than a fart. There's nothing funnier than a fart.
Falling. I love seeing fall down. People falling down. Funniest thing in the world. And the longer it takes them to fall down, the funnier it is.
You hear the drums in the back of
right? And the problem is when it actually happens, you can't laugh. It's rude to laugh, so you kind of have to. Sorry, continue.
But that's it. And so I'm not saying that everything needs to be in that zone.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, that discovery was, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Oh, wow. I have noticed that though, when you're making any kind of art, when people react with the noise, it's always good.
Yeah,
If the well, I will say the caveat, if the noise is, that's not good. But if the noise is like you said, or the noise is, oh, that's good, you know. But like the noise they make initially tells you everything that you need to know
yeah.
of what you did. So
That's a great line. That's a great perspective. I think even the is like, where's he going with this? You know, like it's a good
right,
indicator. Like they're
right,
following you.
yeah. But it has to be followed up with the oh, so but
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
another
yeah.
noise has to follow it. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
So
exactly.
yeah, that's incredible, man. That's just like I got a little emotional there when you told that story. So it's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.